Hi guys, welcome back. This is the sixth video of the JavaScript video series, and in this video we're going to look at assignment operators and escape characters. So for assignment operators, let me open up my JS Fiddle window. You can do the same, and we're going to write some code in the JavaScript side. And let me show you how assignment works. So you're aware that this is used to assign the value of 5 to x, right? And then when we say document.write x, the value will be 5. And if I want to increment the value of 5 of x by 5, if you've seen my earlier videos, then you know that there needs to be a space here, just as a best practice. So if I run this now, I'll see that the value of x is 10 because I've incremented the value of x by 5. Now there's another way to do this. Let me comment this out, and I'll say x plus equal to 5. So this will also increment the value of x by 5. See, as you can see, 10, which works exactly like this, x is equal to x plus 5. This is a shorthand bit or a shorter way of writing this. So the value of x here is 10, right? So let me say now x plus multiplication, or let's say minus equal to 5, because I just want to show you that this works with subtraction as well. So when I run this, it says 5 because the value now becomes 5, and which is basically this is the equivalent of x is equal to x minus 5. This works with multiplication as well. So that the value should ideally become 25 here, right? 25, this becomes 25. Now this works with division as well. So let's say 5, and the value should again become 5 here. It becomes 5. This works with modulus as well. Sorry. So the value should become 0 here because if you divide 5 by 5, the remainder is 0. So the value is 0. Right, so I hope this was kind of interesting. And now let's look at some escape characters. Let's say I want to say x equal to I am Viking. And if you've seen my previous videos, you know that if I want to write, if I try writing Viking in double quotations, like let's say I want Viking to appear in double quotations in the output, and if I tried writing it like this, it won't work. And this is why we were using single quotes, right? So if I encapsulate this in a single quote and I say double quotes Viking, this will work. But let's say I want to write everything in double quotes, right? And I still want Viking to render. Then I use something called as an escape character. So escape character is basically a front slash that will appear before the place that you want to escape. Like in this case, it's a double comma, double quotation. So you can see this renders exactly like it would have rendered if there were single quotations here. So now let's try this with the line which has single quotations. So like let's say if I want to write it's all right, this won't render, right? This would have rendered if I would put double quotations here. It does, but I want to render this with the single quotations, so I can use the same front slash, which is the escape character, and then try running it here, and it says it's all right. It works perfectly fine. Now let me show you another example. Let me write some HTML for that. Doc type HTML, body, and PID demo. Okay, and here we'll say we won't say document.write. What we'll do is we'll say document.get element by ID. So demo inner HTML is equal to hello world. And you'll see hello world out here. But let's say I want to write hello and world on a different line. This won't work, right? there's a way to do it. You can just put an escape character here and put this on a separate line, and now it will work. So escape character helps you do this as well. There's another way to, if you want to write this on a separate line, you can just use plus, which is basically used by JavaScript to concatenate strings. I'd shown you this in the previous video. So you can see here it says hello world again. Then what doesn't work here is, like, let's say if I just put an escape character here and say hello and hello world here, this won't work. So you need to remember that. But if you don't put anything here, this will work. So just remember that you need to put the escape characters in the right places. For example, out here. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now let's move on to the next example, which is, you don't need the HTML here. Let's say var x equal to John and var y is equal to new string John. New string John. Now this is another way to define a string, right? So we're telling to JavaScript that assign a new string to y, which is basically John. Now we should have let's try doing one thing. Let's say document.write that's equal to y. So you know that x is John, right? And y should also be John. So if we say x is equal to y, then it should say true, which it says, which it does, you know, it says it's true. But when you say it's triple equal to y, it says false. Now triple equal to, I have not told you before in any of the videos before. What triple equal to means is that the value of x and y is equal, and also the type of x and y is equal. If x was John and y was also just John, let me show you here. Var y is John. And if I did this, it would say true, let me say. So sorry, the j was small. Now let's say the j is capital in both. It will say true because the value of x and y and the type of x and y both are strings. But if I define it like this, it says false. Why could it be? It's because when I define y as a string like this, it's not just saying that y is a string. It's going to you know, put the type of y as an object. So we can verify that. Let me comment this out and let me show you document.write. The type of y says object, and type of x it will show me as string. So this is why this sentence is not working here. Now this is this can lead to some major errors if you're in the habit of defining strings like this. If you're coming from different programming languages, you might be in the habit of defining strings like this, or you know, and this can lead to a lot of problems because in JavaScript, this becomes an object. This is the way to define an object which has the value of a string, but this y becomes an object. So when you try to match these two together, it will say false, and the type of will also work in different ways. So just remember, if you want to assign something as a string value, just try and use this as much as possible. Don't use this because this can lead to errors later on. And so let me show you something else which is also equally confusing. It's a string. So now the type of both of these things, right, should be object. So type of x is object, type of y is object again. But if I say document.write x is equal to y, which is basically the value of x and value of y should be equal, right? It will say false. Now this is again a very big you know, place where you can have a lot of errors. It's because when y becomes an object and x becomes an object, they're two separate objects. They're not the same object. And this is why when you compare the value, it will be false. This is something that you need to remember because as you evolve as a developer, and later on you'll have a lot of errors, and these kind of errors become very difficult to debug in JavaScript. So that's why I'm just pointing out all of these things to you. So this was it for this video. I hope you learned a lot of new things, and these are some things that you need to really remember and keep at the top of your mind. Otherwise, you can have a lot of errors that will be very difficult to solve basically in your videos. Sorry, in your code. So I hope you learned something new, and see you in the next episode where we look at numbers. And thank you for watching.